Boxing Truth here. Finally, some news came out about Julian J-Rock Williams, a contender at 154 pounds. If you guys watched him fight, he's one of Al Heyman's promising young talents in his stable. However, he'll be fighting another no-name opponent for his next fight. It was revealed. The news was revealed by his trainer, Breadman Stephen Edwards. He will be fighting a fighter named Marcelo Montano for the IBF Eliminator. It will be an IBF Eliminator. They'll be fighting in the first part of March. They haven't found a venue yet for the fight. Still no date yet, but around the early part of March. And it will be an eliminator for the IBF belt for the right to face Jermall Charlo. However, I'm hearing that Jermall Charlo was probably going to make another defense and most likely move up in weight, so Julian's not going to be able to, most likely ever be able to fight Jermall Charlo. He's wanted that fight. He's called Charlo out. He's called out a lot of fighters, but unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get these fights. He's with the PBC and he's advised by Al Heyman. For whatever reason, Heyman hasn't been able to get any big fights for Julian. Julian seems very frustrated. He's been calling a lot of fighters out, even in fighters in his own stable with the same advisor, manager, same umbrella. But for whatever reason, these fights aren't happening. A lot of people saying that people are ducking J-Rock. They're scared to fight him. And Julian is a good fighter. You give him the eye test, he's a good fighter. He's just, I don't understand what Heyman's doing with J-Rock Williams. He hasn't, in my opinion, he hasn't treated Julian right. He hasn't done right by him. I mean, a lot of other fighters have received more favorable treatment. I mean, Julian, he's 21-0. Has a draw on his record against Centeno, the best fighter that was the best fighter he's fought so far. Got a draw with him. He's 21-0, one draw, 13 knockouts. He's in the top 10 of an organization, the IBF. He's rated 13 by BoxRec. But I don't understand why Julian hasn't gotten the exposure compared to some other Al Heyman fighters. I mean, fighters like Errol Spence and Dominic Brazil and Jermall Charlo, they've gotten more opportunities. They've been on NBC. They've been on bigger platforms. And considering the opponents those guys have fought, it's not like their resumes are much better than Julian. They're pretty much around the same level. But Julian, if you do some research on his resume, I mean, it's a lot softer from the inside, looking out from the outside. It's just, I don't understand why Julian's been matched with some of the opponents. Some of the opponents he's fought are very, a lot of safe fights, a lot of hand-picked opponents. I mean, he's fought some guys ranked within the top 500. Why is a guy like Julian, with the talent he possesses, fighting guys ranked in the top 500? I mean, guys that don't look like they're even in shape, that they don't even look like they've ever. It's I don't understand why he's fighting like Armand Avespian. At one of his fights last year, it was on Showtime Extreme. He shouldn't have been fighting that guy at this stage of his career. He needs to be fighting, guys around at least the top 25, top 20, perhaps a contender in the organization and for a sanctioning body. The best fighter he's fought, according to his resume, in my opinion, it's Centeno. He took a step up with Luciano Quello, his last fight. Quello ain't much of, he's no world beater. He's fought mostly in Argentina against hand-picked guys. It's very, he hasn't really fought a murderer's row of opponents. The best guy he ever fought was Willie Nelson. He gave him a little beating in that fight, but didn't get the decision. So he just gave a life and death struggle to Willie Nelson. That's his highlight reel as a professional. Julian Williams impressed in that fight. He dispatched Guello in less than a round. Impressive performance. Made a statement. Was hoping to get Austin Trout next. Trout is still, he's, he's still he's enjoying the paydays so far. Ever since he took a couple of L's from Canelo and Erislandy Lara, he's very content now and making decent paydays to fight hand-picked opponents and building his confidence back. He wanted no parts of J-Rock, and I don't blame him. He's looking for a bigger fight, even though he will be paid pretty handsomely for a fight with J-Rock. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. I wasn't dying to see that fight anyway. I don't think anybody was. But it would have been a step up for J-Rock. It would have been a good opportunity for him to fight a name fighter who's been in high-profile fights. Would have been a good opportunity for him, but he didn't get it. So now he has to move on with his career. It's good that he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay active. If these guys don't want to fight, or for whatever reason, Al Haymon just can't deliver the fights to him, then he has to fight somebody. And the opponent he's fighting is Marcelo Montano. He's another safe opponent. I've seen tape on the guy. He's from Italy. He's ranked top 50. He's got no power. Very bad technique. He's been knocked out before. And he's very amorous with his punches. Throws wild right hands. Throws a lot of arm punches. Just doesn't keep his hands up. He doesn't keep his chin tucked when he throws his punches. Should be easy work for J-Rock. At least he'll get into position to fight for the IBF title. Most likely he'll be fighting for a vacant title. I'm hearing Jamal Charlo is going to move up in weight after one more defense. I don't understand why unless he's struggling to make the weight, or I don't know. I'm hearing he's going to fight. He's going to move up in weight, even though there's not many opportunities at middleweight besides Daniel Jacobs and Peter Quillen on his side of the street. So it's not a lot of big fights he could get up there, unless he just can't make the weight. J-Rock, he's remained loyal to Haymon. I get it, but Haymon hasn't done a good job in promoting him. He hasn't gotten him on any big platforms. He's been stuck fighting on Showtime Extreme undercards and FS1s or off TV type bouts. I mean, I understand this guy is one of his most talented fighters, and he's not getting him any exposure. He's not getting him. He's not putting him on any platform that could get a lot of fans to see him. So I don't get the progression with J-Rock Williams. J-Rock he's a talented fighter from Philadelphia. He's got good technique. He's very by the book. He's very textbook. He pretty much throws every punch the way it's supposed to be thrown. And I give credit to that to Breadman. Shout out to Breadman. I read his mailbag for years. He's very knowledgeable about the sport. He's very passionate. He knows the game. He seems like a great trainer. He's taken J-Rock, into position for a title. However, his management, J-Rock's management team hasn't been doing a good job promoting him. All those platforms Hayman's had in 2015, and J-Rock wasn't in any one of them. He couldn't get it on NBC, Showtime, or at least a co-feature on a big card. He's been fighting on mainly off-TV bouts and on FS1 and Showtime Extreme cards. It's just a fighter with this type of talent should be, have more exposure to the public, And he's still under the radar. He's still under the radar because he hasn't really stepped up in opposition lately. He's pretty much around the same level. Quella was a minor step up, but he's not a world beater. He's a very, very flawed fighter. He's going to be fighting another flawed fighter, but he has to do what he has to do. He just can't sit on the shelf. He's got to stay busy. At least he'll get an opportunity at a title. The 54-pound weight class, it has talent, but it's lacking name recognition. It's not many super fights that can be, or big fights that can be made. Lara, I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand. He hasn't. I don't know what he's up to. Don't know his plans after those two safe fights he took in 2015. I wouldn't mind a large Julian Williams fight. Julian just needs an opportunity to showcase his skills. Jermell Charlo, he's also a contender. Jamal's brother. I don't know what he's up to. None of these guys are fighting each other. I don't get Heyman's plan at 154. None of these guys are fighting each other or want to fight each other. Julian was included in the WBC tournament by Mauricio Suleiman. He had a plan, a set-up bracket for Julian to fight Vanes Martirosyan. Obviously, that fight's not going to happen. Julian's going to fight Marcelo. Julian and Vanes, Heyman tried to make that fight earlier, very recently. There's a lot of speculation of why that fight didn't happen. According to Breadman, Vanes priced himself out. He wasn't happy with the money. Vanes has disputed that, he's saying, "No, I was good with the money. I don't know what they're talking about." It is what it is. It's not really a fight I was that excited about anyway. But it would have been a step up for Julian. Would have been a good opponent for him to see where he's at, because Vanes he's not a great fighter, but he's like sort of a gatekeeper to pretty much state to a fighter who's coming up, if you can't beat me, then you're not going to be a world champion. So he's sort of a gatekeeper to that. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think about Julian's career. Will he finally get a big fight in 2016? Are you happy with his progression? Is Heyman not doing a good job in promoting him? Y'all let me know what's up. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.